then your own system, we're back, then your own system shuts down. Yeah, so once you stop using something, your body, doesn't kick it back in automatically. In fact, sometimes, especially with anabolics, athletes who take it for a long period of time, um, sometimes you take different things to try to bring it back, but sometimes it doesn't want to come back. So you've got to stay on that product for life. Like I know, for instance, my mom, she's a cancer survivor. They had tamoxifen. They had her on tamoxifen, and she's been on it for, I don't know, 20 years. One doctor says, why are you still on that stuff? It's so ineffective now. The body doesn't, it's absorbed. It doesn't, it doesn't. It's been so long. The body doesn't feel the effect of it anymore. It's not doing anything. She goes, oh really? Well, maybe I'll talk to my other doctor and see, my physician. And he goes, no, I don't want you coming off of tamoxifen. This prevents you from getting cancer. So here we go again. One doctor says, take the tamoxifen. The other doctor says, don't take it. Both doctors, both great doctors. I suppose, doctors. Everyone's the best, seems. Everyone's the best, where's the rest? But, so, again, I just get back into that confusion. Yeah. So the program we talked about that I'm putting together, it's got a bunch of different elements. For instance, we talked about the strength. What I have my clients do, and we talked about squats, is just sit down in a chair and get back up. Can you do that? Let me see, I don't care. Can you just sit down and get back up? Do it again. Sit down and get back up. Then when you push yourself up, use your legs. So as you push your body weight up with your heels, your bigger muscles kick back in, your hamstrings kick back in, your glutes kick in, your quads are even kicked in. And you're getting some oxygen, some breath, because it's a big movement. It's a compound movement of a squat and come back up. Right? So now you got oxygen going deep in the body, you got muscle working. Great. Right? That's good. That's good. That's good stuff. Right? That's good stuff. You got the muscles working, you're doing some deep breathing, you're getting stronger. Now, how many can you do? Listen, when you're 65, 75, 85, not as many. But I'll tell you something, it's so important that if you could do 20 squats. I told you what happened to my dad. My dad had no strength. He couldn't get off the couch. His muscles, through whatever reason, just atrophied so badly, he had to have a walker. He had to have a wheelchair because he had no leg strength. So what do the doctors do? You have no leg strength, doc. What do I do? Well, you gotta get that walker and use it. Oh, okay, doc. I'll use the walker and I'll have a wheelchair, and that's what you think I should do. Then, for my background, don't forget what I do for a living. Personal trainer, nutritionist, physiotherapy, studying, the yoga, the seniors fitness. Didn't go through all my programs again. I got like 6 different diplomas, that I've worked hard on, and now I have my master's. Master's just is a funny word. I like kind of master's because it makes you kind of, master means you're senior, you're older, you're the kind of the wise one, you're the master, or the master. I kind of like that one. And it works too because I have studied a lot, and I do earn that master's. And I'm with a company called International Sports Science Association. I just heard something. International Sports Science Association. Years ago, there wasn't a lot of certifications, personal trainers. There's a lot of personal trainers. Who started personal training? Oprah. She starts everything. I remember I was a young kid and I was watching and I was into fitness and stuff, and all of a sudden I heard this guy, this Oprah's personal trainer. Never heard of such a thing. Somebody having their own personal trainer. Seriously, that's where it started. And then I guess recognition from that, and I guess the guy looked like he made a lot of money, which he probably did. And personal training was lucrative. Personal training was lucrative. Back then, you're making it was like 20 some years ago. You're making $100 an hour. You're making more than a lawyer was back then. Some guys getting more. But nobody beats my contract. In personal training, I still have the biggest contract on record. I just got lucky. I really just got lucky. But maybe I'm pretty good too. I'm going to go that way. I was working as a spin instructor. Make it quick. Worked up with a couple new guys who were in the gym that night before, and I worked with them and showed them some stuff and how to set up the straps and just give them some good service. What are you supposed to do? Next day, I get a call from the guy. He goes, hey, remember me? You worked me out last night in the gym. I said, I really liked your workout. He said, I'd like you to train me. I said, great. He goes, I go, when you coming in? He goes, no. He goes, I'm in Vegas. I said, oh, when you coming back? He goes, no, you don't understand. I said, I want you to come to Vegas to train me. And that just threw me off for a couple different reasons. I said, what's your name? It's Michael Shustik. I can say his name. Michael Shustik. From Vegas. Look me up. Check me out. See, I think you know that I'm on the up and up. So I tell you what, Mike, I said, call me back in 20 minutes. I ran upstairs in the gym and I tried to find, someone's playing around. Someone's playing a practical joke on me. I'm being, what do you call that? Jokered. Whatever you call it. So I had 15 minutes. So I decided to look up the name. Looked at the name, sure enough. Vestin Corp. Big roller. A lot of money. Straight up guy. Hard business guy. Yeah. Kind of reminded me of a Trump. Strong. He knew a lot of politicians. He was well known. He was well known and very, very wealthy. Like probably the wealthiest man I ever met. Yeah. So anyway, he calls me, goes, hey, he goes, did you check me out? I said, yeah. I said, I did actually. He goes, yeah, I'm Michael. He goes, I know you're Michael Shustik. And he says, yeah, Mike. I said, listen, I said, what's your deal? He goes, I want to pay you. He says, what do you make in 1 year? I said, I don't know, Mike. I said, that's kind of private. I just threw out a number. I said, 50,000. Last year, 50,000. It was 20 years ago. So he goes, you got it. He says, I'll give you $50,000 to come down to Las Vegas, stay at my home in the guest quarters. So I figured I still didn't know this guy was straight up, you know what I'm saying? Still wasn't sure. $50,000 gonna go to Vegas, gonna fly me to Vegas, gonna pick me up, gonna live in a home in Vegas. Come on. Couple phone calls later, I'm booking my flight to Vegas. Girlfriend wasn't happy, my boss wasn't happy, just taking off. He said, I'll pay you $50,000, but I gotta lose 30 pounds. I'm 230, I gotta go down to 200. And I was weighing about, 210 that time. Because you got a good look. He said, I want to look like you look. He goes, I want that, good look. So 30 pounds in 6 weeks. What do you think I'm going to say to the guy after me? I'll do it. Back of my head, I said, holy shit, 30 pounds in 6 weeks. It's a little more 6 pounds a week. And listen, if we starved the guy and didn't give him any water, we can get down 30 pounds. But we got to do this right. We got to do this healthy. So anyway, bottom line is I fly in, Mike picks me up, I get $50,000 in my pocket, cash. Holy shit. His assistant would drive up in the Escalade, we'd pull up into the mountains in Las Vegas. We get to the party, he sees the most beautiful view of Vegas, the best view I've ever seen in Vegas, and that's where his house is. That's his house. That's his house. $10 million home. See, when you get that wealthy, $50,000 is not a lot of money, sad to say. It's a lot of money, but I mean, to them, they spend millions daily. We don't got a whole lot of time to go into it, but I got the biggest contract. I got 50,000, and yes, he did lose the 30 pounds. And we flew to Hawaii in train. We flew to San Diego in train. I lived, you know, a good, not a fast life because it was a healthy life. We ate good. We trained hard. We were training. We couldn't fool around, drink alcohol, and have a bunch of women and dining and stuff. 2 single guys. Maybe we should have, maybe. Excuse me. So, that's the story of Mike, and there's a couple of other backstories to that, but we can't get into that. So definitely, personal training can be lucrative, but usually not that lucrative, especially now. You're going to see those contracts once in a blue where you see some guy and get that type of contract. Yeah, so we're done. What are we doing? We're talking Wayne, we're talking anti-inflammatory. One of the programs I want to talk about, getting back to no pain for a second. I'm going to jump around a little bit because that's my brain kind of does. I got to go with it. If I go guessing, I'm just going to get kaboobilated. But it all kind of comes in the wash. It all kind of comes in the wash. Let's see. I'm just checking out. What time is it? It's New Year's Eve, and I'm babbling to you guys. I wish I had 40 minutes. So this is what I do New Year's Eve. I'm sleeping. Girlfriend's in Florida. She's chilling out. So I'm with you guys. And you guys, well, we're not live. Next time we should go live. This one's recorded. This will be recorded onto Facebook or YouTube. Now, I got this show coming up. And the show is called Healthy Body, Healthy Mind with Coach Kevin. It's got me nervous. That's why I'm practicing talking to you now. Because, talking to me now through the phone. So this radio show is interesting. It's the only radio show in the town. Small little town in Amherstburg, Ontario. I think the population is about 20-some thousand people. Now, to give you perspective on the 20,000, I raced the Paris Marathon. I'm trying to think of the year. 2001 or 2. Yeah, had to be 2002. I ran the Paris Marathon. Now, this particular marathon had 20,000 runners. In one race, we had as many people as this whole town that I live in Amherstburg. So how big of a race or how small of a town, right? You can look at it both ways. But I'm doing this radio show, and it's good because I'm marketing my program. Of course, my program consists of the training, the online training, the chair training that we're doing for the upper body. We're doing the cycle training called the Senior Cycle that I brought in the program as well. We're bringing in the diet, and we have some other bells and whistles in there that I'm selling the program for. So that's what we're going to be marketing on the show. So I want to do a good job. I want to get a lot of information out there, and I want to get those programs started for people. I really believe in this program. I put together this program. I'll tell you, I'm good at putting stuff together that works. I put together a body forging program years ago that involved, it was 20 years ago now. It had the philosophy of yoga. It had the moves and the breath as Tai Chi. It had the yoga moves in there with breath, basic ones, not putting your heads around and not getting all wrapped up. No, basics, deep breathing, martial arts, kata, and I call it body forging. It's a wonderful program on the floor. See, the only situation now, seniors, I don't put them on the floor. But the body forging program was on the floor, and we did it full body workout. I what do you call that with the choreography? I choreographed it and I put it all together and I marketed it as far as me teaching. It gave me a job. Me teaching, and I had actually other trainers that I certified. I taught how to teach it so they can go out and make some money teaching it. It was a wonderful program, and it's still a wonderful program. So I'm good at designing stuff that works. It worked really well. It's a good program. Then I put together an underwater treadmill. That might make your brow rise a little bit, but I live in Florida. And we had people, seniors, that we use in the pool, aqua aerobics, aqua therapy, aqua. Well, I took two of best worlds. Walking, I think, on a treadmill is a very good thing to do. Some people have problems on treadmills. I had one lady have a heart attack, so treadmills aren't the best either. I wasn't a trainer, by the way, but I tried to save her. We just never got it back. So treadmills, can be a little harsh. So I put together an underwater treadmill. I made it out of PVC piping. I put the slide of the walker board on an angle. I think it was like 12% raised. No, it wasn't 12%. Probably was like a 3%, 4% raise. And then I had like things that made it stick in the bottom of the pool. And you only went to the chest high. And you put it. And I even had my mom as one of the. We'll have to get you pictures. One of the models that she did, and she was a model, and she just put a picture. And I was going to market an underwater treadmill that I made myself, PVC piping. It was a great idea. It made sense. Your body's 30% lighter in water. See, the problem, we'll get to it later, is the contractions, is the jumping, the squeezing of the joints, and the rubbing, and the inflammation, and the pain, and the nerves, and then it all just kind of goes into one play like that. So we made I called it a water walker. But then, like everything else, it came down to, then it comes in, okay, I created it, but now I need a marketer. And I can market and sell things in class, and I can talk to people, and I can sell things, like that. But to be a major marketer in shipping, assembly, the other thing had to be, in other words, if I went to Amazon and said, I got this great idea, they said, good, you got a couple thousand of them? Oh, no, but I will. No, you won't, because you'd have to have a lot of money and a lot of place to put it to storage. And so logistically and financially, it didn't work out. But I put good programs together. That was a great idea. Still is a good idea if you do it. I want commish. I just gave you an idea. I want the commission on that deal. Water Walker, I'll even give you the name. So now, I love my program. I call it the senior cycle. And you've seen this, the ones that go onto the desk and you can just use your legs and just, pedal. Most people say, what is that? You're not going to burn a ton of calories. No. But that's not why we're using it. When you have neuropathy in your legs, when you have arthritis in your knees, when you have hip damage, pain, inflammation, your ankles, or like me, Achilles tendon is my injury, and even that could be, still aggravating. But for seniors, you have to understand, my program is mostly for seniors. It gets everything going. It just gets the circulation going. It gets the lubrication going. It gets everything going. Because seniors, trust me, because now I live with Mom. I'm looking after Mom, and I live here, and I live in a senior citizens home. So I live in the community of senior citizens, and, I'll tell you, it's not pretty. I don't like coming to Miami Beach on South Beach anymore. But you know what? They need me. There's a saying that, how does it go? The coach goes to where he's needed the most. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. And I think I'm needed the most here. Looking after mom and helping these people. So I designed a program that has different elements. The nutrition element, don't forget I'm a nutritionist. The nutrition element is the anti-inflammatory program that I have. And that's based on a 30-day plan with a repeat. In other words, you do the plan 30 days and you just repeat it. That's all. But it gives you a day-by-day eating, day-by-day eating, monthly plan structure. And that's important. That's important, structure. People say, well, which works best? And they all work. So then I think you got to go to structure, learn the structure, and follow it. Learn the structure and follow it. And usually if you follow structure, you'll get success. Especially if it's a good program, which mine is a good program. So there's no starving in my program. There's no, I've been all over the gamut with that. No carnivore. We're just all meat. It's a healthy anti-inflammatory program that is geared, if you want to use those words, to reduce inflammation of the joints. And we try to do it drug free, because again, once you get on those drugs, then you're stuck on those painkillers, anti-inflammatory painkillers, and then what happens? You get on those, and it goes to your liver. Your liver has to break down everything foreign in your body. So your liver is like a filter, right? After a while, that filter is going to get dirty. Water filter gets dirty. You don't want to keep drinking that dirty water, especially when the filter now is full of bacteria. So you don't want that flowing over, and that's what happened. That's what happens when your body gets too much bacteria. It can't all filter through the liver. It overflows into the system, and this is where disease is created. You know what a tumor is? You know what cancer is? Cancer is a tumor. It's bad cells that get together and they eat other cells. They're basically like those little, I call them those little munchie packs. You ever see those in Pac-Man? Pac-Man, And that's not cool. So, now we're getting to that conversation of preventing disease. A big thing that I believe in also is strengthening your immune system. So once you have the diet program going on, you get the strength program on your muscles, your arms, we're doing all the exercises. It's only a 15-minute workout, by the way. It's not a P90X class. In a chair, all you gotta do is have the chair, the senior cycle, the anti-inflammatory program, the hotline that I provide for personal training, and anything else that I can throw in the package, right? So it's a package deal. I put because a lot of times you get good nutrition without the training. You get the training without the nutrition. You got to have the whole thing. You can't do it what do you call it, a la carte. You can't eat. It just doesn't work. You can't have a car without the tires. You can't have a tire with tires with no engine. You know what I'm saying? It's got to have the whole thing together. And that's what I did. That's the program that I did, and that I'm working with seniors, because it's important, especially if you're a senior citizen who you've got neuropathy. My mom, I hear her moaning. At 3 o'clock in the morning. Oh, it hurts. And she ain't faking it. Why would she? She's in pain. And they got her on doing, these electrodes with Dr. Ho and Dr. this and Dr. that, and it's not fun seeing your mom in pain. It's not fun seeing somebody who you love and they just lost, she's going through a lot of tough times. Just lost her husband of 66 years, and, she's got bad osteoporosis, cancer survivor. And they just found another, lump into her system. And we have to go through that now for more testing, more CAT scans, and more, different tests that we use, ultrasounds, of course. So being sick is no fun. That's why we don't call it health care anymore. When I see it, it's sick care. We're just looking after our sick. I'd rather prevent and keep healthy. So I got a combination of those things going on. The circulation, the blood flow, the lubrication of the knees, the strengthening of the legs, the strengthening of the arms, right? We got to have good legs, especially legs. Arms, like I said, I'm not so concerned about. Only for aesthetic purposes, but I mean that's not, you're not going to do that when you're in senior. Who cares? Who cares if you got a wrinkle in your arm? You know what I'm saying? I got a wrinkle over here. I don't wrinkles. Wrinkles is just, I call them experience lines. A lot of experience. So the package, and that's also beverage-wise. We're going to the water, man. We're going to go to the cucumbers. We're going to go to the lemons. We're going to follow. I like Andrew Weil, Dr. Weil, Dr. Weil. Yeah, Dr. E-I-A-L. He's great. So a lot of stuff I put together that I took from him and put my own recipes. Nutrition also comes with supplements. We talk about your omega-3s. We talk about your zinc. We talk about your there's all different things. But the thing is, you don't need to take everything they tell you to take. You be at 50 pills. And how many milligrams? They don't tell you. They said take this and take this, but you don't know how many milligrams, and they don't know. Well, I'm a nutritionist. I do know, and I've worked with clients. I do know how much milligrams certain people should take. Bigger people should take certain amounts. And genders and ages, you do take different amounts, and you can mix them together. See, my biggest problem with doctors, as I told you, is they don't know, number one, because so many specialists that they're presenting you to. Every doctor's putting in something different, and every doctor tells you to take a different thing. And then they contradict each other. They they either they count it out. The drugs together they contradict each other, or they become toxin. You take certain drugs together. This, especially with pharmaceuticals. These are strong drugs. These are blood pressure drugs. These are strong drugs that can really get serious in your system. These aren't just vitamins. So when you're taking all these pills, depression, medication, you take your Lipitor for your cholesterol. You're taking this for that. A lot of pills. And again, what happens to your pills? They got to be digested and go through your liver. And what happens with your liver and your kidneys get over toxins? You don't want to start playing around with dialysis. Right? And then what happens with all that going on, then you get the cancer cells come out. That's where all that bad crap happens. So I'm on about preventive. Get your body moving. I live in Canada. It's very cold. So in Florida, everybody else are walking. They're walking the beach, and the older seniors, they're walking Hollywood Beach, and they're walking. That's great. They're getting sunshine. Beautiful. Good. But we don't have that in Canada. We have 8 months, give or take. Some cold weather, snow, temperatures down, no sun. Long time sun's, some places have more sun, but I mean, sun's important. You just get sit in the window and get on your face. You can't put a plant long in a corner with no sun. Do it and see what happens to the plant. Human beings need sun and need water. Organically, we need that. So the plant has the hydration plant. The plant, it's a full plant. And that's what I intend to do. I intend to make people stronger, healthier, less pain, stronger bones, immune system. The immune system, to me, I always make it for your football guys. It's like you have a front line, big front guy. Every guy's like 400 pounds. He's solid muscle. He's got just say, he's the front line. Well, no one's coming through that front line. The guys on the other side are accountants or something. I don't know. They ain't coming through that front line. So that's like a disease trying to come through. The devil trying to get through you. It's what I call bill collectors trying to come get you. And that's what happens in the body is the immune system stays strong. When you're younger, your hormone levels are high. You don't hear of kids when they're 25, 20 years, most, let's face it, big percentage don't get cancer. And they don't have all the fibromyalgia, and they don't have the neuropathy, and they don't have the kidney disease, the prostate problems, they don't have the hormone problems, the depression problems. Well, depression, that's the mind of the beholder too. We'll talk about that as well. Because your hormones levels are high, and that's what keeps your metabolism constant, and also keeps your immune system up to protect yourself from those guys trying to come through. Now, what happens is you get sick. Those football players kind of get smaller and smaller and smaller and less and less and less until there's hardly any, and the other side is a whole bunch of bad guys coming across. That's cancer. That's disease. That's COVID. That's all that bad stuff. That comes from stress, that comes from bad eating, that comes from wear and tear, and that comes with a lot of things and drugs. And so when your immune system gets beat up, this is when you get sick. So it's important that you eat your vegetables, get your water, get your exercise, get your system stronger to keep your immune system up. So the bottom line is, when you have good muscle strength in your legs and body, you'll live a lot longer, because those muscles is what keeps you going. What happens is when you are sick, you just go what they call muscle wasting. Those muscles, I just saw it in my dad. I see it in my mom. I see it in people falling. Seniors fall because they got weak legs, because they're not doing nothing. So at least in this program, we're doing something. We're doing a good pedaling on the bike. Listen, I did a lot of pedaling. I think I told you I figured out that I actually cycled around the world. Yeah, I cycled around the world. When I taught spin classes, I taught about 15 classes a week. And so if you figure 15 classes a week, 52 weeks a year, 30 years of teaching, I do average about 30 miles an hour. I did the numbers. I've done over 25,000. And then on my mountain bike racing that I used to race, I used to race mountain bikes too. So all the cycling I've done enough cycling to go around the world. And I'm okay. You know what I'm saying? If that was like running, I'd be beat up, man. I'd be all beat up. If I was running that much every day, running, running, and doing cardio. It's way overrated. When they say cardio, we're talking about your heart, yes? Got to keep my heart strong. Your heart's not the problem. It's the tubes that go into the heart, called the arteries. Your heart's strong. Your heart's fine. You don't need to run 26.2 miles. I got a fun stat for you about the 26.2 miles in a second. You don't need to run cardio or jump up and down and get a sweat on. And I've seen heart attacks, and I've been involved in resuscitation and heart attacks, so that's not cool. And that's from just doing simple classes. Not so simple classes at these gyms, and that's another conversation. But I've seen two people, one just make it, and I was part of that team to have that person just make it. Thank God. The other one was also part of the other one that didn't make it. And they're both on treadmills, and they're both middle-aged. One was in a class, one was on a treadmill. I'm not a big believer in hard cardio. I'm not a big believer in hard yoga either. You talk to most chiropractors, they'll tell you they love yoga. I said, why do you love yoga? They go, because we get more customers from yoga, because what happens is when you yoga, you tend to hyperextend the joint. You do stretch, you open, you hyperextend the muscle, you tear, and you damage because you hyperextended. You did something you're not supposed to do. You should always keep flexion in the joints. That hyperextension is. And so yoga has a reputation, a bit of hyperextending of joints. Yeah, so sometimes those moves aren't good. So you want to keep the muscles tight, you want to keep contracted, and you don't want to make the heart go too hard, because then you can have a heart attack, or you also break down your system. When you're doing hard cardio, your immune system also takes a beating. Don't forget, I used to run 5K. 5K, you know what 5K is? You run 3.5 miles, 302.2 miles. You run as hard as you can for 5 kilometers, as fast as you can. For 5 kilometers. It takes you about, the best I've seen, anywhere between 15 and 20 minutes. I ran 20 minutes, 21 minutes. Most people run 23, 24 minutes. So I was a pretty good 5K guy. But we call it the puke race. You ran so hard, it hurt so much at the end of the race, you puked. We call it the puke. I did that did the puke race. And the marathon just breaks you down too. So all that hard cardio will abuse your immune system. If you're just lifting weights, machines, or doing resistance training, moderate resistance training with maybe a light incline on a walk pace, walk up a hill quickly, that's much better. There's no jumping on the joints, there's no impact, there's no inflammation of the joints, there's no pound and ground, right? That's what gets those joints inflamed, is that ground and pound game. So when you do that, it inflames. Don't forget your joints are like door hinges. If you don't grease them or you don't lubricate them, you're gonna get crickety. You hear a loud creak. It's oh oh. So that's a knee joint that's dirty. Or a knee joint that has compression. A knee joint that is not doesn't have the softness and the flow. So it's just grinding and then inflammation, and that causes pain. So the program is anti-inflammatory training. In other words, no jumping up and down. The water is a flush. There's a way, the water is a flush with the lemon and the cucumber. The training is the muscle training for the squats, the legs, the leg work with the chair. So you're basically just doing squats with a chair. Now you think it's easy? Do a couple hundred. We'll see. We'll see. I'm sure you can do 10. Let's do 100. Let's do 200. Whatever it takes. It only take you a couple. Your whole workout will be done in 15 minutes, and you'll get more of that 15-minute workout than you'll do in any hours of training in the gym and tons of weights and sets and this and that and things doing. Listen, I've been there, I've done that. I learned from it. Mr. Canada, 1988, strongest man in Canada, picked up 750 pounds. On my back, still 750 pounds. Bench press, another 500 pounds. Marathon running, bodybuilding. Listen, don't forget, where's my guy? Kevin. Good arms. But also look at the sweep on the legs. Good sweep on the legs. Yeah. You sure I don't look alike? Man, I was a good looking kid. So that also comes with good nutrition. When you're a bodybuilder, you also learn about nutrition. We talked about it before. I think when I did that particular show, I think all I did was I had like 5 Tupperware dishes. In every Tupperware dish, I think I did a half-baked potato, a can of tuna, white albacore tuna with a little bit of lemon juice on top. And I think the next one I might have jazzed it up a little bit and put maybe mustard with that, a little different condiment or something, but nothing with sugar in it, of course. So between the cans of tuna, which I think I almost got divorced because of the whole house was just smell like fish. That's not a pleasant smell. They have fish and tuna all the time, and egg whites, and But that diet lasted 6 weeks, and I lost probably 30 pounds. I was about 240 pounds when I was in my heavier training before I was powerlifting, and then that particular show I was 198. And I think my body fat was like 5%. So I had 5% body fat and 198 pounds of muscle. And with that muscle, 5% was fat, which was like nothing. I think I used to walk and my feet used to bleed on the bottom because I had no fat left on the soles of my feet. I couldn't go for long walks because I had such thin skin, no fat on the bottom of my feet. But that's what you had to do to win those shows. And of course, I told you about the other stuff I've done with the powerlifting. And so bodybuilding, powerlifting was my foundation. Then all the little stuff in between, the boxing, the kickboxing, the aerobics, the spin classes, and the mountain bike racing, and the triathlons, and the 5Ks and the marathons, and the kayak racing. May I go on? So I've done a lot of stuff. I've trained a lot of people. So I feel pretty qualified. I've got a lot of certifications. So I feel pretty well-rounded when it comes to helping somebody. You train that many people and you work with that many years and you've done it yourself. It's not just as if you help somebody else do it. I've been through it. I told you I've done all my diets. I've done all my programs, all my training. And at 62, I don't care how much I can bench press anymore. I haven't bench pressed, honestly. Because it doesn't do anything. It's not functional. It's not going to do anything for me. It's not, for this big ego, let's face it, it was ego, to be the strongest and to be the best looking as far as physique goes. And Mr. Florida. That picture there, I was Mr. Florida. So you have the best physique and you're the strongest. Your ego gets pretty high. Yeah, a lot of other things in the fold too. You know, it's good. Had a good run, but now I want to pay it forward. Now I've hit that wall. You know, you say life is a marathon, it depends on where you look at it. It's in context. I've done the marathon. I've run almost the full marathon. I hit the wall. I hit the wall at 62, and I think you get a couple big walls. I think you get walls every 10 years. The first couple of walls are just small little bumps. But as you get older, the walls get a little harder to get over. And this particular wall at 60 was a big wall for me. You know, don't forget, I was a, fitness, body, fitness, body beautiful, this and that. And then all of a sudden, as you get older, all that goes away. So you really have to get into a different mindset. You gotta lose the ego, number one. You know what I mean? You gotta lose the ego. That's for sure. And I put my hands on my face. Yeah. So once you've lost that, and then you realize that, hey, life's different. And then all of a sudden you lose a family member like your father, you know, things change kind of like in perspective and priority. Do I really care now how much I can bench press or how fast I can run or how high I could jump? Or do I think of family? And after losing my father with dementia is a horrible disease. He got complicated with pneumonia, so I lost my father this year of 2023, which is almost, in 7 minutes, 2024. Happy New Year, people. We're not live, but it'll be fun to watch it on even recorded. So, yeah, lost my father this year, which is a big one, real big one. And so you hit the wall, and my mom is sick. My mom has got, I told you about the neuropathy and problems. So what do you do when you hit the wall? Do you fall down and just give up? Say, I quit? All the years I told you that I was training has geared me to this point in my life where I'm now ready to be an amazing, paid-it-forward teacher. That's all I want to do, is to get people healthier, because number one, it makes you feel really good knowing that you've taken somebody off of medication, or they're no longer using their cane, or they're a walker, and their blood pressure medication has been cut in half, and the depression medication is no longer, and their liver count has gone back up, and the kidney count is improved. They're happier because they've been doing some things. When we talk in the work program that I do, we do the thing about power, the power of positive thinking. We work with Eckhart Tolle, which is a great spiritual leader and one of my great teachers, and we get into his program. We get into some Wayne Dyer, which I really like. Wayne Dyer is really, kind of like my idol. I like the way he's does everything. And then of course we have Dr. Wheel. I keep calling him Whale. He won't like me for that. Andrew Wheel is our nutrition expert. So we deal with him a lot. And so, I'm saying so a lot, I'm just trying to end. I got 20 more seconds. I just wanted to thank you, wish you Happy New Year's, which is about to happen in 5 minutes. So you're starting off a new year, a new start, resolutions. What are you going to do? Just do the same thing over and over again, expect different results, and we call that what? We call that insanity. It's insane when you do something over and over and over again. It's like relationships. You go through the same guy, the same type of guys, you're going to get the same... Trust me. So you have to make a change if you want change. Right? You can't do the same thing over and over again and expect something's going to change. So a new year, make some changes. Seniors, look into my program. If you have parents, grandparents, grandma and grandpa that don't really, understand maybe the complexity, or not complexity, but just maybe how important it is, maybe, I don't even want to say that, they must want, do it for them. Buy the program for them. That's what you want to do. Get the program for them. The cost of the program. What's the cost of the program? It's broken down. it's broken down. I think if we did it a la carte, it would probably be $1,000 for the program. But we're going to talk about the program later. I've got a lot less than that and worked out for you. But learn and tell your grandma and your grandpa to watch our program. You know, we're going to be definitely doing our program a lot more. CKBG 107.9, The Bird. I love the station. I love the owner. I never met the owner, but I just did some research on him. He's a fun guy, I think. And I think I might have a beer with him one day and get along. So, yeah, Mr. Adler, thank you. Yeah, grandma, grandpa, get in the program. Contact me. My email, I didn't give you my contact. My email is fitproduction, FITPROCTUION, production. I said that right. Fitproduction, one word, at yahoo.com. All right, website. I'm not going to hurry for the website. Let's just see what happens by just doing it this way. And just go on Messenger, Facebook. You want my Facebook? Coach Kevin. That's a tough one. Instagram, Master Coach. I guess you figured it out, right? So, yeah. Fit Production is my email. Coach Kevin is my Facebook account. Contact me. Get a hold of you. Happy New Year. Take care, team. Love y'all. Bye-bye.